Minasan, konbanwa. Welcome to Nihonshu Nights number 14. Today we are going to be reviewing a Nihonshu that I must admit, had a bit of difficulty trying to find any information on. I mentioned before that the Nihonshus I've been reviewing were part of a gift set that I received at the beginning of this year. It seems that these particular Nihonshus were either very limited editions or rare Nihonshus, because even on the rare occasions that I've been able to find a website for the sakagura in question, I've had very little luck in finding the Nihonshus I was drinking, even on their own official websites. And it's sort of the same case for this particular Nihonshu, which I admit is a very interesting one. And one that I confess since I'm confessing everything, I'm having a lot of difficulty reviewing. But I do enjoy a challenge. So, let me go ahead and get this whole thing started off with the pour. Just to make sure you can see everything clearly. Now, this particular Nihonshu is, let me make sure I've got my notes correct on this. This particular Nihonshu is called the Senbazuru Daiginjo Harashu. It is a Genshu, it's a Daiginjo Genshu. And what little information I have been able to find out about it is that it was made by the Meijo sakagura. And they do have a website. This is one of the sakaguras where I was able to find a site. But interestingly enough, there's very little information about almost anything. I mean, there's the name of the sakagura, there's the location, there's a brief bit about the history. But if you go to their shopping section on their own website, you will find that there's really only one kind of Nihonshu listed. Before I proceed, I should mention that I did discover is not the correct word, but realized earlier when I was preparing for this review that for some reason, I'm not entirely sure why, but in the last few videos, somehow in my brain things got scrambled, and I believe that I have been telling you that the Nihonshu, or the sake meter value, was set up in such a way that a positive number meant dry, or that a positive number meant sweet, and a negative number meant dry. I was misspeaking. A negative number is sweet. A positive number is dry. I'm embarrassed to admit that. I'm not entirely sure why I was making that error, except to say that it's been a while and I've gotten rusty. And also, unfortunately, when I got burned out, I haven't even been drinking Nihonshu all that much. I drank it occasionally, but not a lot. So, forgive me. I will do my best to double check everything I'm saying in the future and make sure that I'm not completely full of it, because I should know better. I do know better, but part of relaunching a channel, you get rusty, I guess. Now, back to the Nihonshu. So, I mentioned that this comes from the Meijo sakagura. What little information I can find out about it is listed on their website. And I will get to that in a moment. because first I need to give you the review. So let's give it a try. So this is a lot more herbal. And I get a hint of peat moss, a hint of mushroom, something sweet, just the slightest, I don't know. I won't say sweet potato because it's not quite that, but there's something very potato-ish about it. Maybe kind of a hint of potato with butter that I'm picking up on. This is, I confess, since I'm already on that, a difficult Nihonshu to review. I can't quite put a finger on all of the flavor profiles I'm picking up. There's a hint of tea as well. A hint of kind of an herbal flowery tea. And a hint of black tea, too. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any foods to pair with this in time. And it's a shame because if I had, I think a proper pairing would have brought out the flavor profiles more clearly, made it easier for me to pick up on them. However, it is an enjoyable drink. It's not the smoothest Nihonshu I've ever consumed, but it is interesting. I suppose this is, if you're reading like an intellectual book or an art film or something like that, this is a good Nihonshu to drink while you do that. But I can tell you, this particular Nihonshu was polished up to 50%. About 10% what I usually expect from a Daiginjo, but it's there. The Nihonshu, though, is plus or positive 5. And according to this bottle, the alcohol content is over 18%. Now, interestingly enough, on the storefront, they describe it as having a fruity aroma peculiar to Daiginjo and a refreshing taste. But I guess the smell, the aroma, I'm not really picking up a lot of fruitiness to it. If maybe kind of a hint of blackberry and blueberry there a little bit, but I'm definitely getting a more earthy note. Or, well, earthy aroma. But there is a hint of sweetness, but it's not a clear sweetness. Like I said, it's kind of more the potato with butter flavor, which is good. I do enjoy it. But it also means that I think this Nihonshu would be a hard one to pair. But I'm going to have to try to get my hands on it again sometime in the future. You can actually find on below this video that I did provide a link to the store page where you could buy it if you happen to be in Japan and are so inclined. I imagine you could potentially buy it if you're overseas, but it would be expensive and imports would be difficult depending on. Alcohol is always a little iffy when you're trying to import it. I do enjoy it, though. So, let me go ahead and give you what little information I know about the sakagura. So, the Meijo sakagura was established in 1966 as a merger between 6 other sakaguras in Himeji City. I understand that the foremost sakagura in that was the Imai sakagura, which was founded, according to the site, in the first year of the Genji era, 1864. The name Meijo is apparently taken after the Himeji Castle, also known as Shirasagi Castle, which is, according to them, the most famous castle in Japan. And I do believe what I've heard reflects that. And their use of English was perhaps not, well, no. I think they're talking about the Imai Sakagura here, in which they state that it has maintained its taste for over 140 years and boasts the highest production in Banshuichi. Gomen. But yeah, of course, as it's a Daiginjo, well, as with any Nihonshu, really, the rice is important. And I do have some information about the rice. This was made from Yamada Nishiki, kind of domestic rice. And I don't know much about the rice itself. That is perhaps something I'm going to have to look into a little bit more. But there are some limitations as to where you can buy this. Like I said, it's not even on their official storefront. They do have a link here about a company or group called Baluna being licensed to distribute it. And I do believe that this is I do think that this is a good one to drink. Despite my difficulty in reviewing it, it has a very interesting flavor. Nothing about it is bad, just complicated, as you should expect from some Daiginjo. Well, all Daiginjo is complicated, but sometimes it's not a clear complicated. It's not something you can just easily define. You'll get wildly varying notes, as you saw in my last review. But I am enjoying drinking it, so that is never a bad thing. Unfortunately, there's little more I can tell you about this particular Nihonshu. I can tell you that if you look at my channel, you can find a link to the sakagura, or to the sakagura's homepage. You can find a link to the store where you can buy it. And of course, you can find links to my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And I would really appreciate it if you would help me grow this channel by liking and subscribing, all of those, and share them with your friends. If you've got any friends that you think would be interested in Nihonshu, tell them about it. Tell them about me, and I promise I'll do my best to do better. I may take a little while to get used to things again, to get back into the swing of reviews, and also this live stream format is new, as you know. I am working on getting some more equipment and whatnot to improve the quality of that too. But, my hope is that in the future, I might go a bit 50-50. I might do some pre-recorded videos for the higher production quality. And I may also do a few more live streams as well, just because live streams are enjoyable. They're easier to make, yes, but I also enjoy the live interaction with my viewers. And unfortunately, as of this particular live stream, I have 0 live viewers. Lucky me. I hope that in the future that will pick up. And actually, you know what? It could be that this is a bad time. If it is, please let me know. I'm trying to find a good median time for my American viewers and for my Asian viewers. Too late, and only my Asian viewers can view it. Too early, my American viewers can't join in. But right now, nobody's joining in, so that is a problem. I may have to try to readjust. Either way, I believe that will wrap it up for this review. While this was a difficult review, and while it's a difficult Nihonshu 2 review, I'm glad I tried it. And the fact is that I received this as part of a gift. One that I have learned was very expensive. And I can't appreciate it more. Fact is that it came from a very dear friend, who I will not name here, because to be honest, I don't know if he prefers his privacy or not. But I will say that he's been a very good friend. And I would never have met him if I hadn't gone to China. Funny enough, he's Japanese, but I met him in China. And he's become a very, very dear friend that I will value for the rest of my life. And as I said, none of that would have happened if I hadn't taken a chance. And that, as always, is the reason I tell you to never be afraid to go beyond the horizon. Minasan, arigatou gozaimashita. I will see you in my next video. Mata ne.